Hey everyone, Dr. Vic here. I wanted to create a tribute to my grandmother who just passed a couple days ago. And I'm going to be sharing with you every day something that her life that taught me, things that we went through, her experiences that I had with her being one of her grandchildren, and the beauty of being able to be with her and learn from her. So the first lesson that I learned was probably the most powerful lesson that I've learned from her life was unconditional love. You see, my grandmother, you know, imagine one day coming out of school at 15 years old, and all of a sudden, you're like, hey, guess what? You're going to meet this guy. We're going to put you together. You're getting married today, and then you're going to be going to America and you're going to start your life. Be a little crazy in today's world, right? But that's how it was back then. It was a cultural acceptance, and so with that, her marriage wasn't all sunshines and rainbows. There was a lot of turbulence in that marriage, but the one thing my grandmother did was unconditional love. She no matter what, she still loved my grandfather. No matter what happened, she still served and loved him and expressed that. She loved her grandchildren no matter what. I mean, there's times I would aggravate her in so many different ways, and she would still come back loving me, even though she may have swore a couple times. But it was the unconditional love. She never, ever put a condition like, I love this person because of X, Y, Z. You hear that a lot in today's world. Why do you love your wife? Why do you love your husband? Well, because she's this, because she's that. What about just loving them for who they are? Right? Unconditional. Taking the good and the bad. My grandmother never not loved someone because of X, Y, Z. She didn't put conditions on it. She just opened up her heart and just loved individuals for who they were. And she showed that throughout her life. If you came over, she showed it through her cooking, and that was her way of expressing her love. She felt that, you fill up your tummy, you're happy, you're feeling good. I mean, maybe it's an Italian thing. But the thing was that she did that, and she made sure she did it every single time. I remember every time I come over, that's what she would do. Give me a kiss, give me a hug, I love you too much, and then, oh, well, you're hungry, I'm going to feed you. No, I'm good, I just literally got done eating by my mom. Okay, well, I'm going to feed you anyhow. And it was just her way of expressing of how much she loved you. And in that, it taught me in my life to love others, regardless of who they are, what the conditions, because guess what? None of us are perfect. We all have our imperfections. Most of the time we try to hide them. But it's usually our imperfections that create who we really are. It makes us perfect. And my grandmother really taught me that, because it's never really judge someone. You never know where they're coming from. That's what I got out of it. And that everyone has their own path. And if you follow that path of what they went through and all the experiences and so forth, you'll be doing the exact same thing that they're doing. So instead, unconditional love for me, and what I learned through my life, is understand. Love, I think understand is just another word for love. And if you truly love someone, you want to understand them. You want to understand why they do that, or what was behind that, or what happened. And when you start to understand someone, that's where unconditional love blossoms. And it's one of the greatest gifts my grandmother could have ever given me. And it was through her life. It wasn't like she told me this. It was through her living every single day. She modeled that for me and all our family. To see that on a daily basis. And it ingrained in me. To now I take that beautiful gift and I take it to the world and sharing it, and everyone I introduce or be with around, and no matter what circumstances come, it's always looking at understanding first, because that's where unconditional love's at. So to you, Nonna, I love you. I know you're dancing up in heaven. I know you're singing, and man, I know everyone up there is excited because now you're cooking a galore with everyone else. As the priest said during her funeral, he's like, yeah, God was welcoming her in and said, okay, now you can start cooking. Let's go. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in, listening to this. Hope it inspired you in some way, and if it did, click share. Share this with someone that may need to hear this message. If you liked it or loved it, please go ahead and click that down below. And if you have any cool stories or comments, or if you knew my grandmother, share a story. This is my tribute to my grandmother. I'm sharing it to the world. I don't normally do these things, but I thought it was relevant to help me in my healing journey, and also be able to share this with others to grasp and see, just as we share our experiences, I think that's how we can really blossom as human beings overall. So thank you for tuning in, and until tomorrow, have an awesome day.